So how do you control something that's literally designed to outthink you? That is the billion-dollar question for a company like Microsoft, which is right at the heart of the AI revolution. In this explainer, we're going to dive in and see how they're trying to tackle the absolutely massive challenge of governing artificial intelligence.
And look, this isn't just some theoretical question, right? It's the central tension playing out inside pretty much every major tech company right now. Because when your innovation moves faster than your control, you're looking at a situation with incredible breakthroughs on one side and, well, potentially catastrophic risks on the other.
For a company as huge as Microsoft, this became their daily reality. I mean, the AI explosion was a total gold rush, no doubt, but it also came with this huge existential threat. Think about it. How on earth do you write a rulebook for a technology that literally rewrites itself every single day?
So what you get is this modern-day innovator's dilemma. Microsoft is absolutely leading the charge, right? They're embedding AI into everything. Their cloud services, their enterprise software, you name it, they are completely all in on innovation. But as you can imagine, that kind of leadership comes with a ton of pressure.
And you know what? They've kind of made this pressure even more intense for themselves. Microsoft has really built its brand on this promise of responsible AI. It's this public pledge, basically saying, hey, we're not just going to innovate for the sake of it, we're going to do it safely and ethically. And that just raises the stakes from a simple business challenge to a fundamental question of public trust.
And really, that whole promise of responsibility, it all boils down to one word: control. Look, building a powerful AI is one thing, but managing it across a global empire of products and millions, if not billions of users? Whew, that is an entirely different beast. It's a challenge we call governance at scale.
Okay, so what is governance at scale, really? Well, imagine trying to apply one single set of rules to thousands of different AIs. And these AIs are all constantly learning, changing, and making super important decisions in completely different scenarios. It's basically trying to force consistency onto a world that is, by its very nature, in constant motion. And this really is a constant tug-of-war. On one side, you have this relentless pressure for speed. Push out faster models, get new features to market. But on the other side, you have this absolutely non-negotiable need for control, for safety, ethics, and just making sure the AI does what you expect it to. These two forces are always pulling against each other.
So when that rope in the tug-of-war starts to fray, where do you see the first cracks showing up? Well, this tension creates some very specific, very real gaps in governance. Let's break down the 4 biggest challenges that pop up.
All right, first up, you've got a consistency problem. The AI the marketing team is using has a totally different set of rules than the one in the supply chain department, and what you end up with is this messy patchwork of standards. Second, accountability. I mean, when an AI messes up and causes harm, who's actually responsible? Is it the programmer? The manager who signed off on it? The company? It gets messy fast. Third is monitoring. You can't just launch an AI into the wild and cross your fingers. It needs constant evaluation as it learns and adapts. And finally, there's that balancing act we keep talking about. Too much control and you kill innovation, but too little, you're just inviting disaster.
So how do you even start to tackle these problems? Well, it's going to take more than just writing a new rulebook. What's needed is a fundamental shift in how you think about it, moving away from static rules and towards a dynamic, living solution. But what does that actually look like in practice?
This is it. Right here, this single idea is probably the most important takeaway from this whole explainer. AI governance must evolve alongside AI capability. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. What it means is that your system of control, your rules, your oversight, it has to be just as smart, just as adaptive, and just as fast as the AI it's supposed to be governing. Otherwise, it's useless.
And that right there is exactly why the old ways of doing things just don't work for AI. Think about it. That dusty 100-page policy binder that gets looked at maybe once a year, it is completely and utterly useless against a technology that's learning and changing its own behavior every single day. The rulebook simply can't be frozen in time.
So what does this new, smarter approach actually look like? Well, it's really built on 3 core pillars. First, you need dynamic frameworks, policies that can actually change and adapt right along with the tech. Second, you need cross-functional teams. You can't just have engineers making these decisions in a silo. You've got to have lawyers, ethicists, product folks all in the same room talking to each other.
And third, you need continuous, real-time monitoring. You basically use AI to watch the AI, catching problems as they happen, not finding out about them in a quarterly report.
Okay, so we've been focusing a lot on Microsoft, but let's zoom out for a second here. Why should any of this internal corporate stuff matter to the rest of us? Well, because the outcome of this struggle, whether AI governance succeeds or fails, has absolutely massive stakes, not just for business, but for all of society. The reason is AI isn't some niche tool anymore. It's quickly becoming the new operating system for how business and society run. I mean, it's already deeply woven into core business operations, it's the main way we interact with companies as customers, and it's even starting to shape huge strategic decisions at the highest levels. Its reach is just massive.
And listen, when a technology has that much influence, the fallout from getting the governance wrong is severe. Without strong, thoughtful oversight, risks don't just pop up, they scale at a terrifying speed. The public and customer trust that takes years to build, that can vanish overnight. And let's be real, if the industry can't figure out how to govern itself, regulators are going to be forced to step in, and they often do it with a very heavy hand.
Okay, so let's boil all of this down. What are the big lessons we can pull from Microsoft's journey here? I think there are 4 key things that really stand out.
First, governance has to be proactive, not reactive. If you're waiting until after a product is built to think about safety, you've already lost. Second, accountability structures have to be crystal clear from day one. No finger-pointing when something inevitably goes wrong. Third, continuous monitoring is just not optional. You have to work from the assumption that your AI will do something unexpected. And finally, you have to accept that the balance between innovation and control isn't a problem you solve once. It's a tension you have to manage, strategically, every single day.
And ultimately, what this all points to is a new definition of what it even means to be a leader in this day and age. See, in the era of AI, leadership isn't just about who can build the biggest, most powerful systems anymore. True leadership, that's about having the wisdom to thoughtfully and effectively manage the impact of those systems on all of us.
And that really leaves us with one final and, I think, crucial question to chew on. As these AI systems become exponentially more powerful and woven into the very fabric of our lives, maybe the real test, the ultimate measure of our success as a species, won't be about the power of the AI we create, but about our wisdom and our ability to govern it.